market's gonna burn. It's the time of the crash, 2021, everything's breaking. Is that really true? Is really the entire real estate market gonna crash right now, 2021? Is that what the facts really point to? Get educated.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
You know, there's a lot of people out there claiming that 2021 is really going to be the year of the housing crash. I got a lot of peers out there, and that's what they're saying on their channels. But I gotta be honest, it doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, I totally get that as bizarre as 2020 was, while you might be thinking that, like, can this get any worse? But today we're gonna look at the facts. To understand what might happen in 2021 according to the facts, we should be looking at 2020 and look at what was happening even before the pandemic. Did you realize that pre-pandemic, that Freddie Mac reported that we were short 1.4 million single-family homes? We're technically still playing catch-up from 2008's Great Recession. Think about that. It's been more than a decade. We're still really far behind, and you can't make up for that in 1, 2, or 3 years. Fact number 2, in March, when basically the economy shut down, commercial and vacation real estate got decimated, like destroyed, as in like. However, later then, everyone started saying between March and June, is this going to be a V-shaped recession? In other words, the world stopped. We've got the sharp decline, but then is it really going to pick right back up? And sure enough, we actually know what happened. The economy did its best to get going again. In July, single-family home prices surged. Why? We had limited inventory, but people are now leaving the cities. They're starting to realize this is probably a new normal. Like, really, months or years later, am I going to go back into the workplace, or is my home my new workplace? Because 70% of everyone else out there, they want to keep working from home. So guess what it means? Leave the cities, go where real estate prices are cheaper, get a bigger house so that you have a place to live in, but also a place that you can work from. However, the market got totally shocked when in September the government announced the eviction moratorium, and that left a lot of investors super nervous. If you owned real estate at that time, you might have been thinking, great, my tenants now have a perfect legitimate reason to not pay their rents. I'm not gonna get the money I need to pay the mortgage, and what I thought would be a great retirement or help me grow financially is probably gonna stab me in the back. But then we got surprised. Look at what happened to the single-family real estate sector. We saw rental rates increase across the board in most places, $50 to $100 a month. Why? Because everyone's trying to buy a house and get into one, and there's not enough homes. So guess what's happening? It's putting demand on the rental market, making it more attractive. In December, mortgage rates reached a 50-year all-time low, literally under 3% on a 30-year mortgage. You know, some people might almost consider that freaking free money because the government is scrambling to say, lower the rates, Fed, so that we can try to jumpstart this economy. And then finally in December, the average single family home price increased 15%. It's projected to be 7% in 2021. Why? There's not enough homes, and it's driving the value up as everyone is trying to clamor and get everything they can off of the market. Having an answer to the question, is there going to be a crash, is really important because right now everything is skyrocketing. And if you think there's going to be a crash and there's not, you're probably missing out on one of the greatest real estate harvesting events of your lifetime. On the other hand, if there is going to be a crash, you're going to be really glad that you got out of it.
Oh my God, it's gonna blow!
Let's take a look at the data because honestly, if we're not up for a correction right now, then you might want to know where you should be stashing cash, specifically based on how the economy is responding to real estate. Check out this graph from the National Association of Realtors conference that gathered a whole bunch of data about the economy. And what this first graph is doing is talking about job growth. This right here is a reference point. This is right after the 2008 crash. And we see that the jobs came back from the previous high even stronger, literally in US history, one of the strongest job markets. This is when the pandemic hit and boom, a whole bunch of people lost their jobs. And we only need another 9.8 million jobs just to get us back to our previous high, which means that right now the economy is getting into some type of recovery mode for those that have gotten their jobs back. On top of that, this is saving rates. We have literally, with the pandemic, people aren't spending money, either because they've been worried More than likely, they haven't been allowed to. Like, everyone's buying all their stuff on Amazon. People aren't going out. They can't eat. They can't travel. They can't play. They can't have fun. And guess what that means? There's a lot of money that's getting ready to enter the market. Remember, the stock market is doing really high. It is at its previous high. People are loaded with cash. That always bodes a strong economy. Number 3, check this out. Office occupancy falls another 74 million square feet in Q2 and Q3 this last year. In other words, if you were ever playing the game of real estate, investing in commercial, office space isn't looking too hot for maybe the forecast of, I don't know, the next forever. Like, people just want to work from home. And you know what? I own multiple companies. And if people have proven that they can work from home, why do I want to pay that high overhead of office space? The world is being restructured right now. By the way, I would not be investing in this game. I don't think it's going to be looking good anytime soon. But perhaps the most important piece of data that I pulled from this that I wanted to share with you is where people are moving. Because we know single family residences are on the rise. It's becoming popular. But where? Guess what? Number 1, suburbs and subdivision, 47% growth. This is where people want to move, not just rural areas and small towns and urban areas and central cities, which, by the way, is down substantially. It's right up here. It's moving into the suburbs. So if you're looking at playing the game of single family real estate, guess where you should be investing? Right here. There's a lot of people trying to predict this crash. When's it coming? But you know what? Real estate is really predictable. It's just a game of supply and demand. And right now we have all of this demand, people saying, I need a house, I need a house, I need a house, and we have no supply. There's not enough homes. So guess what that means? It means we're not in a bubble. You actually have to have too much supply, too many homes, and no one to buy them to actually have a bubble burst. But let me tell you a game that is a lot harder to predict. The stock market. Wall Street Journal came out with this, pretty funny. They said a group of journalists randomly picked stocks by throwing darts at a dartboard. And then they outperformed hedge fund pros by 27%. Now that's a hard game to predict. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna share with you my predictions for 2021, and I'm also gonna share with you what you should be doing right now in the game of real estate if you wanna win big. I can't promise or guarantee anything, but I'm just telling you the facts are speaking for themselves. Check it out. You realize in 2008, when we had the Great Recession, everyone thought the sky was falling. It was the end of the world. Guess what it really was? It was the best time to get in the game of real estate. How do I know? Because within 5 years of the crash, I helped my investors make over $100 million. What were we doing? Competing against Warren Buffett, buying single family homes for like a third of the cost from their crash prices and then reselling them for huge gains, making killer cash flow along the way. By the way, my biggest regret from 2008 is that I didn't double down and buy a whole lot more real estate. Number 2, economic recessions create consumer fear. So everyone really gets it in their minds that this is a bad time to put money out because of all the uncertainty. But guess what? This is when we hit record high ROIs everywhere across the board if you know what you're doing. Number 3, real estate crashes only occur after real estate bubbles burst. That most definitely went down in 2008, and we most definitely have not built a new bubble. Next, current housing inventory is at a record low since September 2020. Like right now, historically, we have never been this low in the entire United States. Current national median, however, it's up 15%. Used to be around $240,000, $250,000, now it's $311,000, and home values are expected to rise by another 9% in 2021. So right now, I don't really know where this doom and gloom and crash conversation is really coming from. Do you?
We're dead! We're dead!
I'm not gonna lie. I'm really good at making money at the game of real estate. And if you're a subscriber on my channel, you don't only know that, but you're hopefully mimicking and copying my own experience. But learn from me right now on one of my big mistakes. If you listen to the media and if you listen to other people without evaluating facts and data yourself, you're gonna make mistakes. Like, I used to go and buy all sorts of crap, investments and stocks and this and that's and cryptocurrency because someone I knew was like, oh my gosh, I made money with this, you should too. But I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't dive deep. I didn't really learn anything. And you know what? Most of those investments have not panned out. A couple of them have, but I've since learned one of Warren Buffett's rules, which is don't lose money. In other words, make intelligent investments, make intelligent risks. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if I were you for 2021, I'm gonna share with you exactly what I'm gonna do in the game of real estate. I'm gonna share with you exactly how I'm gonna kill it. This is what my game plan is, but I'm telling you right now, you should get your own game plan because there are lots of types of real estate, but there are only 4 things that I'm going to be doing for the next 4 years while I'm going to ride this catapult of what real estate has in store for us. Check it out. Number 1, make sure that if you're getting in the game of real estate that you focus on single family homes. Why? Because this is where the market is moving. This is the trend. And if you think that the pandemic's going to clean up in the next couple of months, no, it's not. We're going to have years and decades of lasting impact of this work from home behavior. So it's reinvigorated a sector of the market that otherwise was maybe a little bit boring for some people. Number 2, buy real estate in the best markets. I go into the best markets and I buy real estate 40% below the median. You know why? Because eventually there will be a crash. And when the market crashes, $1 million houses topple. $500,000 houses get like sunk in half. But a house below the median, a house for 150 grand, 200 grand, it is like a glitch. It's a bump and you hardly feel it. Where am I gonna buy? My highest population growth market right now, Orlando, Florida. Just copy me. I'm killing it there. And also, my highest rental market is Memphis, Indianapolis. If you buy on the right side of the railroad tracks, the right side of the market, southeast corner on this one, that's where you're gonna get literally record high cash on cash compared to any other market right now in the entire United States out of 324 markets. Number 3, do not flip these assets. Control these assets. I always have them paid off in 4, 5, 6, 7 years. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna rent it out, I'm gonna harvest great cash flow, I'm gonna harvest like awesome appreciation, and then guess what I'm gonna do 5 years later? I'm gonna dump it, I'm gonna take my winnings, and I'm gonna go into the next hottest market, and I'm gonna double my portfolio again, because 2 homes right now in 5 years should be 4 homes. 10 homes right now should be 20 homes then. And if you do that in a lifetime, you will be financially free through the game of real estate. And trust me, if you get on that path, there are plenty of ways of accelerating it. Here's number 4. Return on investments. You need to know how to calculate your ROI. I'll recommend a video at the end of this on how to calculate ROI. It's super easy. Never do a deal that has less than a 25% ROI. In that video, you'll learn that I double my money every 3 years, as opposed to like freaking stock market, 401ks, IRAs, where I double my money every like 15 or like 2 or 3 times in my entire working life. It's pathetic. This is where you're gonna win big. If I were you, my plan in the next 5 years would be to be a millionaire. Like if I was in your financial situation, if I had your money or your lack of money or your good credit or your bad credit or the job that you got that sucks or the job that you got that you love, I would be asking myself, great, but how do I become financially free through the game of real estate? I did it in less than 5 years. And if I were you, I'd be asking, how can you do the same? This is what my game plan looks like if I were you. If you could find a way to buy 12 homes in 2021 in the markets that I just showed you, the way I just showed you, you could literally have $1 million in the next 5 years. And that's gonna keep growing. But you're saying, Kris, 12 homes in 2021? How am I gonna buy a home every single month? That seems like ridiculously impossible. Well, 12 homes with a 20% down payment, that would cost you $600,000. And you know what? Most people I meet, they don't have $600,000 in their back pocket. So first of all, if you do have money in 401ks, IRAs, or home equity, guys, you got savings. You should be dumping that in the game of real estate. But also, there's a way for you to purchase the rest of your real estate as what I call zero cash deals. This is how I do real estate. This is how I've gotten wealthy. This is how I got rich, and you should too. And by the way, if you don't yet know exactly how to do that, the video I'm gonna recommend at the end of this is actually gonna show you step by step how you make that happen. Here's what I'm really saying. You need a mentor who's made millions of dollars, who can be in your shoes and give you a game plan. I'm doing part of that right here, but you know what the problem with this game plan is? It's not customized because I'm talking to you through a lens. Like, I don't know your name, I don't know what's going on in your life, but I do know this. If you right now click the link below this video, I will actually customize your game plan for you. I will literally show you. It's amazing. Like, I have this amazing team that lets me be in like 1 million places at once, which means that if you click that link, I will literally gather some data, some information, and share with you step by step exactly what I would do if I was in your financial shoes right now. And if that interests you, if you're looking for a mentor or at least just fresh perspective on how to like cash in on this amazing economy, you should click the link and request that free game plan right now. As in, why aren't you hitting the down triangle arrow and then like click the freaking link right now? Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. I am an expert at buying real estate with no money and no credit. And if you don't know how to do that, number one, make sure that you are a subscriber on my channel. But number two, this video right here will show you how to take 20 minutes a day and buy at least 12 homes in 2021. So if you want to see exactly how to do that, click this link and I'll show you how. Roar, roar. Oh crap. Bam.